Over-the-top displays of female sexuality and pop stardom have always gone hand in hand. While these displays are often praised in the name of female empowerment, I can't help but think that these displays are actually designed to appeal to the male gaze. While male artists are often seen fully clothed in a parade of scantily clad women, the most chart-topping female artists are more likely than not partaking in hypersexual imagery. Let's discuss whether women take on these identities by choice or by necessity. The following video will not consist of me shaming women. If that's what you came here for, then you can most definitely click away because that will most definitely not be happening today. I made this video because I kind of wanted to entertain or broach this subject that has been on my mind for so long, which is hypersexuality, specifically by women in the music industry. Now, ever since we were all little girls, okay, ladies, if you're watching this, we remember emulating Britney Spears and I'm a Slave for You and Genie in the Bottle by Christina Aguilera, you know, all the music and the dance moves and the music and the aesthetics that were way not age appropriate whatsoever. We were emulating them. We were all doing the little dance moves in the mirror and just pretending, you know, Beyonce, all of the above, Rihanna, all of the above. And what I have noticed, and I specifically have noticed within Black women in the industry, because there is some leeway for white women in the industry, but more so to the point, Black women, but women in general, I would say 97% of women that are successful in the music industry, if I were to take a glance at the Billboard Hot 100 chart and see the women that are charting the most and charting the highest and have had the most consistently successful careers in the music industry, I know for a fact, without even having to look at it, that I would find that 99.999% of those women are hypersexualized. I really want to shed light on a video that I watched, and it was by a YouTuber who I love. Her name is For Harriet. I can't think of her real name. I know that's not her real name, but that is her handle, so to speak, on YouTube here. So I'm going to link her video on the screen or down below in the description box down below. She was specifically discussing the WAP video by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, and she was just talking about the performance of sex, and she really got really in depth about it. But I don't want to talk about that video in particular. I want to talk about the music industry and the pressure that so many women, I feel, are kind of forced to perform this sexuality in order to be successful. So like I said, you know, it's a trend that I've noticed since I did not notice it when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I didn't notice it. I just thought it was normal. And I know there was lots of controversy about the movie Cuties. And I think a subject that, you know, really needed to be broached was that performance of, you know, sensuality or sexuality by women and girls when we're much younger than we should be performing it, because of all of these images that we see in music videos, in movies, etc. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to be talking about that movie because I know that's a whole different can of worms. But nevertheless, I find that there is a lot of times where we are praising women, right, for being sexually liberated, for being sex positive, all of the above in the music industry, and so on and so forth. And I certainly have been a part of that camp where I would be like, yes, girl, do your thing. And I'm certainly still torn about whether praising it is appropriate. And here's why. I have to tell you, there's been so many women in the industry that have spoken up about developing eating disorders, about the pressure that they've had to look a certain way or be a certain way or perform a certain way, you know, in order to be successful. And I know too much to turn the other cheek. Is that the correct saying? Turn the other cheek? Again, I keep saying this. I have a degree in English. I could barely speak it, but I think that's what you say, turn the other cheek. But nevertheless, it's really hard for me because I've heard too many women, much too many women who have walked away from the industry because of this very reason. I can't think of her name, but the original singer from the Black Eyed Peas said this very eloquently. She said that this is what the industry was expecting from her. They wanted for her to perform and just be overly, you know, sexual, and she wasn't interested in that. And evidently they found someone who would when she walked away from the group.
It just started to get clumsy and messy. You want me to grind on will.i.am in a bathing suit. That was being asked of me, never by the guys. That was happening from an executive level. How far out on this plane do you want me to go? the tug of war was about my sexuality and how much of that I was willing to like literally strip down. I never wanted to be objectified while doing my music.
So many times over, that's what we see, is this performance of that, of just like that, and just having to look a certain way and be a certain way in order to be successful within the music industry. And like I said, as much as I want to praise these women for, you know, being in control and being, you know, in control of their bodies and their essence, and I'm all for that, my issue with it is that I do not feel that this is what these women have chosen, I should say, for themselves. You know, I feel like there's always that A&R guy who's pushing you to do something, or the director or someone or another. Like, people already know what sells, you know, in the music industry. And they know that, unfortunately, when it comes to women, that is what most women have to do in order to be successful. And I don't want to fault the women. I'm not interested in faulting the women, because at the end of the day, I understand the desperation of wanting to be successful, wanting to be recognized, wanting to be famous. Like, I see it. I understand why someone would want to be successful and why someone would want to go to the ends of the earth in order to achieve that, you know? And again, as I keep saying on this channel, do not hate the player, hate the game. I hate the fact that women have to have this pressure to do certain things and to be certain things and to look a certain way, to act a certain way in order to be successful in the music industry, and particularly, like I said, Black women, because we have a handful, not that many, of white female artists who have been able to be successful without having to do all of that, such as Adele, such as Billie Eilish, such as Kelly Clarkson. Like, there has been a handful of women in the industry, but I really can't think, honestly, of one Black successful within the last, I would say, 15 years or so, successful artist that has not had to be that way and perform that way. Could you think of one? Please let me know in the comments down below. And it's definitely a recent thing, because I feel like back in the day, we certainly had, especially like if we want to go way back in the day, like Aretha Franklin and Diana Ross, and certainly these women were like sassy, and certainly these women were beautiful, absolutely beautiful, are still beautiful. Rest in peace, Aretha. Diana is still drop dead gorgeous. Certainly these women were, I guess, even considered to be a little bit provocative for their time, but nothing compared to today's day and age. You know, back in the day, the songstresses and the divas, the R&B soul divas of yesterday were really, it was more so about just the music and not so about, you know, the look and the package and the performance and all of the above. And it's only been in somewhat recent times that has been the expectation, that this is what you have to perform, this is the way that you have to be. And like I said, I would love to think that these women have so much agency over their careers that they're choosing to do this, but I can't help but think that pop stars are manufactured artists, that they don't own themselves, that they are commodities. At the end of the day, the label owns them. And at the end of the day, what the label says is what goes.
Diane Small, who is a senior features writer at Elux magazine, said, "Blatant sexuality may be masquerading as female empowerment, but who are these displays truly aimed at, and what results do they have? Certainly, they sell music to both male and female fans, but they also sell messages. Messages that say women's values are based on the size and shape of their body parts and the things they do with them. Messages that tell young girls that being sexualized is the norm." In 2013, when accepting a Women's Media Award, feminist icon Gloria Steinem said, "I wish we didn't have to be nude to be noticed. But given the game as it exists, women make decisions. I think we need to change the culture, not blame the people that are playing the only game that exists."
It's just a theme as old as anything, you know, that I just continue to see. And I guess the takeaway from it is, I just would hope that women, and not just in the music industry, like for the everyday woman, that we are not feeling pressured to do things or to be a certain way because we feel like as women we're supposed to be that certain kind of a way. I would hope that that is not the case. I would hope that we are doing things because we want to, not because you feel like that's just baked in the pie or baked in the cake as a woman, that that's what you're supposed to perform, is a certain kind of sensuality. Because I would love to believe that there is room for all kinds of women, the nerdy girl, the I don't know, the girl who loves sports, the girl who is not necessarily, does not view herself as a sexual or a sensual person. Like, I want there to be able to be room for all kinds of girls. There is room for all kinds of women. I don't want girls, or like young girls or older women, whoever you are, to feel like you have to perform this, you know, in order to be attractive to a man or to yourself or to anyone, because I feel every bit as sexy and I feel I love myself every bit as much if I'm wearing a bodycon dress and I have makeup on and my hair is done like this, or if my hair is up, it's not done, not a drop of makeup on, and I have sweatpants and I am just like drinking wine and doing laundry and just loving myself, you know, just everyday loving yourself. So I don't know, I just wanted to kind of like discuss that, the performance of it, and how I've noticed this trope in the music industry specifically and in Hollywood specifically, that this is what you have to do in order to be successful, and it's very disconcerting. I don't like it, and I would love to believe that these women had agency over themselves and over their creative control. However, I don't know. I've heard too many stories from too many people in the industry to believe otherwise. So that's just what I wanted to leave you guys with. Please let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Have you noticed this trope? I would love to hear from you, and I will see you next time.
Hello friends, it's Voiceover Ash, just checking in. Just wanted to add in some closing thoughts, and I just wanted to make a couple things abundantly clear. I just want to say that many of the artists that I discussed, and many pop artists who did not make it to this video, I love them, I celebrate them, I enjoy their music, but the point of this video was not to get you to boycott them or stop listening to them. I don't think I have that power anyways, but that is your prerogative if that is what you in fact choose to do. But that was not the point of the video. The point of the video was to just make you hyper aware of the imagery that the media is trying to sell you about womanhood. If you're a woman, if you're a man, regardless, the facts speak for themselves. These are not my opinions, these are facts. If you go back and look at the artists, the popular pop artists within the last, I would say 15 years or so, you will find that this in fact does ring true. And again, whether it comes from a place of empowerment, I'd love to think that, but I have to tell you that if you go back and you look at who the managers, the handlers, the A&R guys, the directors of these music videos are, 9 times out of 10, it is a man. And so it can only lead me to believe one thing, and that is what this video was trying to convey. I was not trying to throw shade. I, once again, love a lot of these artists, and it was something that I really had to contend with as a woman, as a consumer, that although I love their music and I celebrate a lot of these artists, I had to reconcile the fact that this is in fact the reality of these artists and the music industry. So that was in fact what I wanted you guys to come away from this video with. And once again, the third point I guess that I want to make is, of course, male artists sing about a lot of these same things, but not nearly to the same proportion. I mean, not nearly to the same proportion. And if men are singing about these subject matters, they are fully clothed once again in a parade of scantily clad women. Opinions are opinions, facts are facts. Look it up. I mean, it'll tell you what you need to know. So that's just something that we have to reconcile. Two things can be true. We can enjoy the music but still acknowledge the shadiness and the just messages that the industry is trying to convey to us. I strongly dislike this broad stroke that we paint women with, and I guess not necessarily women, but empowerment, women's empowerment with, is that when you see a woman that is wearing less clothing, it's always painted with this very lacking of nuance, broad stroke of empowerment, you know, hashtag empowerment, like everything is empowerment, when we don't want to unpack the underlying powers that be of why is this woman not wearing clothes? Is it really for empowerment, or is it really to appeal to the male gaze? Is it really because a man is saying, okay, this is what will make you more money? Do you understand? But once again, don't hate the player, hate the game. So I think I know we need to do work to unpack the game and make a world so that women who are pursuing music, women in Hollywood, women in general, don't have to feel pressured to be overly sexual in order to be successful. That is what we need to unpack. We need to unpack the patriarchy, not the women who are benefiting from the only game that has ever been played. So that is what I want to leave you guys with. And once again, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time.